Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to another episode of Dappz Live. I am your host, Dappz, with the illustrious, all-and-powerful Ethan. Ethan, did you get a breakfast sandwich this morning?
I did not. Our producer is lacking.
Wow. Deprived you of a meal
And a
before your
coffee.
big show. Okay, well, before we get to our first stories, let's get into the comments. Fantasy Week 3 is over, and we want to answer any questions you may have. Ethan, I don't know who wrote this segment, but you and I both lost in the Office League. Producer Dylan did not, and now is 3-0. He sent you a trade request, or excuse me, he sent you a trade. Quinshon Judkins and Nico Collins for CMC. That trade rotted in your notifications for 10 days. Would you accept that trade now in hindsight?
You know, it's a little better now in hindsight, but I'm still not too locked in on either of those players. I drafted McCaffrey for a reason. He's my messiah. He's going to lead my team to victory. So I can't let go of a guy that talented.
Logan asks, who do you think is better, the Dolphins or the Chiefs?
Come on.
I'm not writing these lines. Logan asked it.
This is-
You got to
this is-
answer.
This is Dylan's burner. He's just trying to poke me. I'm not going to fall for that. We obviously all know the answer to that question.
All right, let's get to the short stories, everybody. Derrick Henry is washed. Is that too much to say after last night, Ethan?
I mean, fumbling doesn't make you wash. It just makes you a little soft. He's not a wash. I think he's still a top 5 fantasy player. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm not going to disrespect a guy that looks like that.
Well, the Lions rushed the ball a record 7,048 times last night to a 38-30 victory. I had the over 53.5. Absolutely demolished it. Sonic and Knuckles do whatever they wanted last night. That's Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, for those who don't know. They ran the ball 34 times last night. There were a lot of concerns with the O-line heading into the season. Ethan, how did this O-line do against the Ravens D?
Yeah, the O-line wasn't very good. The defense wasn't very good. I mean, Jim Harbaugh needs to get looked at. I mean, he's been there for like 16 years, but I think it's just time to get lost because, A, the offense is not even him. It's the best part of the team. And the defense, which is him, which has talent, is just underperforming. They're 1-2 now, and they should easily be 3-0 against these teams. I don't like what Jim Harbaugh's been up to because he's better than that, and we're cutting him too much slack, and we don't basically hold him accountable for what he's been doing with the Ravens.
Well, listen, the Lions' offensive line last night looked unreal. I don't know if you know this, Ethan. They had a 98-yard drive. The drive lasted over 10 minutes. It was the longest drive of this NFL season so far. It looks like they're averaging 8 yards per clip. Hand it to Montgomery, hand it to Gibbs. It doesn't matter. They really dismantled the Ravens. And by the way, the Ravens were still in the game, but Derrick Henry with these fumbles is just insane. And then Lamar got sacked 7 times. 7 times, and we're burying the lead. King Henry fumbles again, the only running back through the first 3 games to have fumbled once a game. Ethan, there are currently 2 very good teams that are 1-2, the Ravens and your Chiefs. And something's got to give because guess who's playing each other this week? The Ravens and the Chiefs. It's really wild to think that either the Ravens or the Chiefs after next Sunday are going to be 1-3.
Yeah, I don't have a strong feeling with the Chiefs this week. I don't think they have any answer to what the Ravens are going to do on the offense. I think the Ravens are just going to throw the ball over their heads the whole entire game, run them in circles. The only way the Chiefs win this game is if Patrick Mahomes wakes up and this offense can drop 30, 40 points in that game. I'm a little concerned. Both these teams are going to be playoff teams. Both teams are very good. My only issue I have is that this could be basically like if the Chiefs lose this game, this could be the point where they're like, all right, we have a problem. We can turn it around. And I'm excited for that moment of the season.
Well, the Chiefs have injuries of their own. Let's get into that. There are more injuries than ever, and all the NFL keeps trying to do is make this sport safer. I don't know what they're doing. They're not doing a very good job. The injury reaper has sharpened his sight. The 49ers alone. Purdy out. Kittle out. Ayuk out. And now Bosa. Season-ending injury, tore his ACL. By the way, this guy tore his ACL a couple of years ago, came back, won Defensive Player of the Year, I believe. We keep asking this. Who cursed the San Francisco 49ers? Did John Lynch have sex with a witch and ghost her or something like that, Ethan? What do you think happened here?
It's really sad because every year the Niners are healthy, they make the championship. I mean, they lost both times to the Chiefs, but I mean, what Kyle Shanahan does is he just makes the best out of nothing. Last year they were all banged up as well, and they still won 8 games. You know, this team's not a championship team by any means with this whole injured roster, but they're still going to be a good team, and I wouldn't really be upset if they make the playoffs. In general, the Niners are always hurt. Yeah, I guess it's maybe the turf, the field, the way they play. I don't know.
Well, listen, Joe Burrow, injured. CeeDee Lamb just got injured. Najee Harris, out for the year. James Conner, out for the year. Players are going down. Ethan's, are injuries worse than ever this season?
I wouldn't say that. I think they're pretty much average. Like, everyone always gets hurt every year. Getting hurt in football is just half the game. Like, you can look at the 80s and 90s. People were just breaking their legs, but they were still playing, you know? Like, I think our guys are just soft. They're just not playing through injuries they could instead of just taking the surgery and the paycheck.
Speaking of injuries in other sports, Ethan, you might like this one. The Rockets' season is already over. Fred VanVleet tears his ACL in an off-season workout. And guess who is the backup point guard? No other than Ethan's favorite player, Reed Shepherd. Ethan, how high were you on the Rockets before this injury, and how high are you on them now? They were plus 1,200 to win the championship behind my Knicks at plus 875.
Wait, the Knicks were favored to win the championship?
No, the odds were just the Vegas had said the Knicks have a better odds of winning the championship than the Rockets.
Well, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. If you know me, I am the biggest Reed Shepherd collector in the world. I have all of his cards. I have his NTs, his prisms, yada yada yada. I was praying this offseason that Jalen Green got traded, and somehow it listened to me. Not only did they listen to me, they gave me Kevin Durant, one of my favorite players. Now I was hoping Fred VanVleet, something happened to him, and then out of nowhere, I don't even know how it happened. He tore his ACL. I think the team got better. I mean, Fred VanVleet's a chucker. He didn't fit that offense. We need someone who can facilitate, because at this moment, Alperen Sengun is probably the point guard there. He needs the ball in his hands. We have a great core on the wing. We have Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, Kevin Durant, Amon Thompson, and now Reed Shepherd, who's a great off-ball facilitator. I mean, I think the Rockets just got better.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people watching might believe your take is a little delusional, but hey, listen, Reed Shepherd, you've been high on him forever. This is your opportunity to prove all the haters wrong, me included. I think we're going to be upset about that green kaboom, though, if he ends up being that dude. All right? Now, we're going to stick with some more basketball. When will this story go away? I'm so sick of talking about this. The Clippers. Pablo Torres. I am so sick of this guy's face. I thought I stopped watching this guy on, what was the ESPN show, Around the Horn?
Yeah.
This guy was on Around the Horn in 2006. Somehow, to stay relevant, he's been sneaking around the Clippers facility and somehow getting all this backdoor information. Pablo Torres, the aspiration story will not go away. Pablo is still on the mound and delivering. More has come out that the Clippers sent aspiration $118 million over the course of 18 months. And, news story, the Clippers sent $32 million to aspiration the same day that Kawhi signed to the team. Ethan, how fucked are the Clippers?
I mean, they were fucked way before this story. They haven't won a single thing in my whole entire lifetime. Pablo Torre should look less into their background in the front office and more into how shitty their players are. I mean, they're not even like a playoff team at this point. This is just a joke. Steve Ballmer's rich. We know that. He's going to give money to whoever he wants. Just get out of his ass. Let's watch basketball and not what's in the front office. That's my opinion. And also, Pablo Torre looks 15 years old. How has he been on since 2006?
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
How much does Adam Silver hate this story? Because this stuff has got to be happening every day in the league. Mm-hmm. If Pablo Torres keeps this up, he's going to need to hide out in a bunker. Listen, I have two opinions on this, Ethan. Of course, backdoor, shady, criminal activity shouldn't happen. Now, at the same time, imagine you play your whole life to get this max NBA contract. You get $250 million, and then Uncle Sam's like, we're taking half. You don't get $250 million. You get $125. What the hell is that, dude? I would be so pissed if I saw a $250 million contract I was about to sign, and they're like, actually, you're going to get 40% of that.
Yeah, that's why you got to go.
Where is the criminal activity? Is it the guy who steals half your money? Or is it Kawhi for doing a shady backdoor deal with aspire.
The criminal activity is you living in LA, man. If you go to Texas, you go to Florida, you won't have this problem. I mean, maybe Kawhi should have signed somewhere else. The main issue with this is that the entire league has probably been doing this for some time, and one whistleblower is going to lose it for everyone. I'm a little worried, but now it's going to look like teams aren't going to go to LA. They're not going to go to New York. They're going to go to these teams with no taxes and just play there.
Okay, well, let's take a little break, and we're going to go over to Ethan's favorite sport, skateboarding. I know you're a big skateboarder.
Dude, Skate just came out. Great game.
Great game,
I've
guys.
been playing
You
it
haven't
every
played
night.
it yet.
Yeah.
Red Bull is insane. Brazilian skateboarder Sandro Dias. Apparently, he's a legend. Ethan, you know this sport like the back of your hand. Who is Sandro Dias?
He's an unk. As you can tell, Sandro Diaz is the unk of skateboarding. We all know about him. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot.
Okay, well, in 2 days, Sandro Dias will attempt the biggest drop in the history of the sport. They have built a ramp on the side of the curved calf government building in Brazil, and this crazy motherfucker is going to skateboard down it. This guy's a bit of a badass. He has already done a 30-meter drop. On September 25th, he is going to drop down this building from a height of 250 feet. Ethan, how much would you have to be paid to do this?
He's going to die. I am convinced this guy is not surviving this.
Well, let's also look at this ramp. That is sick.
Yeah, no, this
Just
is
think
really
about
cool.
them having to build that.
Where's Tony Hawk at to bomb this thing? That'd be fire. But honestly, if I'm this guy at this age, I'm not bombing this ramp. I think he needs to stop while he's ahead and just go chill by the beaches in Brazil.
It's interesting because how did Red Bull get into this stuff? They make drinks with bull semen in them, and now they're putting people in space and spending $1 billion on this ramp? It's insane. All right, let's get back to our actual
I want a
favorite
Red Bull
sport.
right now.
Say it again?
I would love Red Bull right now.
You want to? Oh, well, I'll
Yeah.
make sure our producer has you on every morning
I wish.
at
Extra bull
11:30.
semen, please.
Let's get back to our favorite sport, football, baby, football. And guys, get your comments in now, and we will be going over them shortly. So let's make sure we get these in. Again, Russell Wilson sucks. He is so bad. Ethan, you had to watch the game because it was your team, the Chiefs. But watching the Giants play football is so painful. It's so agonizing. And there's so many teams in this league that really piss me off because you know you're bad. You know you're probably not going to have a job next year. Air it out. Air it out, bro. Run some plays in the dirt. Look at what Dan Campbell's doing. He has a good team and a good, everybody's behind him. But at the same time, if I'm the Giants and I can't move the ball in the first half and we can't run it and we can't throw it, just play ball, man. Let them have fun. Stop making this so serious. Who cares if you throw interceptions? Have a good time. This is not a good time. It's like watching paint dry. Even Mahomes, by the way, and the Chiefs, they picked it up a little bit in the second half. They kind of those deep balls to Thornton. He's starting to get into rhythm. But it's like, even them, what are they doing taking so long to get into rhythm? Brian Donut and the Giants have announced Jackson Dart will be under center this Sunday. Ethan, how stupid is it to throw this kid out against the Chargers, one of the best teams in the league?
I think it's about that time. I mean, we saw what Russ could do for us. He can't win games, so it's time to bring out Jackson Dart. I mean, they drafted him in the first round for a reason. We all knew he was going to get it eventually. Are we going to wait till Russell Wilson picks it up and starts winning games to pull him out, or are we going to do it after a loss? I think Jackson Dart's going to be okay. You're going to see a lot of big rookie mistakes. You might see Brian Dable even fired at the end of the year, but Jackson Dart, these next 12 weeks is going to be good for him. It's a good way to mature throughout the league. It's just by playing.
Well, it is a little curious because the Giants do play the Saints the week after. I mean, bringing out Jackson Dart first week against the low-level Saints who absolutely stink and can't beat anybody, that would be a seeming opportunity for the Giants to put their rookie quarterback into a position where he could get an easy win. Instead, if he gets the loss against the Chargers, you're not building that confidence. But again, the Giants aren't the smartest organization. Remember when they ruined Daniel Jones' career, paid him more than Saquon, cut Saquon, let him go. He won a championship. They let Daniel Jones go. He's the best quarterback in the league. I mean, it's such a joke. It's an absolute joke. Both New York franchises, we deserve better as New Yorkers. You can't wait. What are you trying to win the division? You are genuinely trying to claw back wins. You're going 0-4 New York. What does it matter if it's Russ or Dart? Other quarterbacks in consideration for benching, J.J. McCarthy? kind of the reverse Benjamin Button of the Giants, Ethan? Do they sit the new kid, or what do you think? Or you leave Carson Wentz in?
I'm all in for sitting McCarthy, but I don't think Carson Wentz is the answer. He didn't really do much. I only won by 50 points, but it's because Isaiah Rodgers scored half the points for that team. JJ McCarthy, you're going to have to just let him play through his badness. I mean, the team is so good around him that they'll still actually win games. I mean, we had Sam Howell in quarterback there last year. JJ McCarthy sucks, but I mean, they're used to it.
Do we think JJ McCarthy can evolve into something better?
No, he wasn't even good in college. I mean, he was terrible at Michigan. Blake Corum and the defense ran that team. I don't know why they drafted him so early. I guess they're just Michigan fans.
Well, what's also bizarre is they had Sam Darnold, who won them 14 games. And Sam Darnold, by the way, looks pretty good in Seattle, right? I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here. I'm a Jets fan. I watched Sam Darnold. It looked like he stunk, but really the Jets stunk, right? But at the same time, what are the Seahawks? 2-1?
Yeah, 2-1, and that first game was bad though.
And by the way, Sam Darnold on your team as a run-of-the-mill, team in the NFC or the AFC. Listen, good quarterbacks are hard to come by in the NFL. To have a Sam Darnold who can get majority of the job done. Listen, if he wins 10 games for Seattle, that's a huge win for Seattle. Going from, by the way, Geno Smith. Right? You had Geno Smith, Sam Darnold. He's not that old. Decent guy to sign, especially if you can't draft a guy. And by the way, the alternative is drafting Cam Ward, right? Or drafting Jackson Dart or drafting Shedeur Sanders. Like, we don't know what we're getting with any of these QBs. At least you know what you're getting with Sam Darnold.
Well, you're going to hate my take then because I think Jalen Milroe is going to take that job soon. I don't think Sam Darnold's done anything impressive. Beat the Saints, barely beat the Steelers. He lost his week 1. I think they drafted their guy. I think Jalen Milroe, third round pick, he was the longest tenured starting quarterback out of any quarterback drafted this year. He played all 3 years for Bama. Every other quarterback was shifting teams left and right. I mean, Jalen Milroe is an athlete, a 5-star out of high school. I think he takes that job soon because I'm watching. Sam Darnold's not the reason they're winning. It's Kenneth Walker, it's Jackson Smith-Njigba, it's everyone else besides him.
Everybody else.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not Sam Darnold.
No.
Right, got it. Guys, get your comments in. We will be answering any and all fantasy questions at the end of the show. And remember, general managers will drop today at 4 p.m. Pacific time on the Dappz Sports YouTube channel. Okay, so make sure you go subscribe to Dappz Sports, like the video, comment underneath to enter all giveaways. General managers, again, 4 p.m. Up or down, our trading card show will drop Thursdays on the Dappz Sports YouTube channel as well. Remember, Ethan and I give away a card every single week. All you have to do, like, comment, subscribe each week. And this Thursday at 4 p.m., right before Thursday Night Football, we will be live streaming the cookbook, our gambling show. So come get your bets in and your questions answered. Dappz live every day at 12 noon. We'll see you tomorrow. Just kidding. We're doing waiver wire musts right now. Guys, again, these are guys we absolutely have to be targeting on the waiver wire. All right? And let's go through it, Ethan. Trey Benson. I mean, listen, I don't think Trey Benson's available in a majority of my leagues. He got handcuffed to Connor. But if he's available in your league, this is a guy who could have a 12-point floor every week. What do you think about Benson?
Yeah, Trey Benson, a Florida State alumni. I mean, he's automatically good at football. He's going to be the number 1 running back there, and he's going to be efficient. The second half last week was bad to say because the Niners are just a good defensive team. But, yeah, when the Cardinals start running the ball efficiently, Trey Benson's going to be a 15-point floor for most of the weeks.
Trey Benson, I mean, listen, this is a guy who you could trade for, maybe low, depending on what people think about him. They were already saying that Trey Benson could potentially have taken James Conner's job before this happened. We'll see. Next one up, Hunter Henry is getting a ton of targets from Drake May. I think he's like top 5 in targets from the tight end position. I really like Henry. I think he scored in 2 out of 3 games. Drake May is definitely looking his way. Is Hunter Henry somebody who's on your kind of radar?
Funny enough, I drafted Hunter Henry in 2 leagues. I last season, the end of the half, he was one of the most targeted tight ends in the league. You know, if you watch the Drake May game, he likes those short intermediate routes. He likes hitting the big guys. So yeah, Hunter Henry's an ad. I mean, the tight end position pool is really weak like this every year. So Hunter Henry is definitely a good pickup.
And then we have Trey Tucker, who dropped 36 points last week for the Raiders, and kind of a quiet 36. Nobody's really talking about this. He had a 6-point game, and a 12-point game week 1 and week 2, and now he drops 36. You've got Brock Bowers in there. You've got Jacoby Myers. What do you think about Trey Tucker? Do you think this is just a boom or bust situation, or?
Yeah, I didn't know who he was till last week. I still wouldn't pick him up because the Raiders aren't a consistent offense, and there's a lot of mouths to feed. So I would hold off on this pick. But yeah, Trey Tucker, 36 points. That probably, if you start him, he probably won your matchup for you.
Aiden asks, waiver question, Chris Rodriguez or Ollie Gordon will need to start one in week 5. Chris Rodriguez is the answer. Ollie Gordon got into the end zone, but A-Chain is clearly the lead back there, whereas Bill, I don't know if he's the lead back. We thought he was going to slot in. We thought he was going to do really well. He ends up having a 2-point week the other week. Now you have Chris Rodriguez, who busted out a 60-yard run for a touchdown last week. Do you like Chris Rodriguez or Ollie Gordon?
I just don't like Ollie Gordon. I don't love Chris Rodriguez, but he's definitely the starter over Ollie. I think, it's whoever it's next up. If he's the only healthy running back on that roster, he's going to play. Bill hasn't been running efficiently because he's a rookie. So, yeah, C-Rod should get a lot of carries.
And listen, it's not that I don't think Ollie Gordon should be rostered on your bench. You never know what can happen. A-Chain has been hurt before. He gets hurt again, and that's an immediate plug into your starting lineup. If there is an injury, we obviously just saw what happened to Austin Eckler goes down, James Conner goes down, Trey Benson plugs in. Right now, you've got this Chris Rodriguez Bill situation. So I'm going Chris Rodriguez over Ollie. Brenton Strange or Jake Ferguson at tight end. Jake Ferguson is getting a ton of targets. I think top 2 or 3 at the tight end position. Do not start Brenton Strange over Ferguson. Romeo Doubs, we saw Jaden Reed go down, right? Now Romeo is supposed to be, kind of slotting into that position. Didn't have a huge week this past week. What do you think about Doubs?
Well, the leading receiver last week was Matthew Golden, a good friend of the program. I'm not picking up Romeo Doubs. I'm probably not picking up Parker Washington either. At this part, you got to be in a 12, 15, 18, 20-man league to be picking up these guys. It's just not part of the roster.
And my man Uncle Drew is in the chat, and he says 2 of those Trey Tucker touchdowns were when they were down 34-10. I'm not buying the Trey Tucker yet. Yeah. So those were all in garbage time. Questionable, guys. I would argue that the Raiders will be in garbage time every week because they stink. They're not a good team. Geno Smith is horrible. Watched him in person. Lost me a bunch of money. Maybe I'm biased towards him. I don't know. What would he say about Sam Darnold? If it's not Sam Darnold, but who gets JSN the ball? I mean, listen, Sam Darnold, again, we're talking about this. JSN, I was worried about drafting JSN as my first wide receiver overall, which was a huge mistake.
Elite.
This guy, without scoring touchdowns, is scoring 15 points a week. So Sam Darnold's getting him the ball. Seahawks are 2-1. We'll see if they can put it together. And then who do we have here? P. Washington?
Parker Washington.
Parker Washington? What's your opinion on him?
Just a guy on the free agent pool who should stay there all year round. Not a guy I'm picking up.
Not a guy we're picking up?
Mm-hmm.
Not a guy we're picking up. Guys, again, please ask us or tell us who should be on this waiver wire musts every single week, especially today. Are we missing anybody? Should we be talking about somebody? Remember, CeeDee Lamb just went down. So George Pickens, right? George Pickens' volume should go up. Jake Ferguson's volume should go up. Remember, they've got a sneaky guy in Tolbert who already catches balls, right? So I kind of like that as another waiver wire pickup. Tolbert, if he's available, and I imagine he's available in most leagues. Guys, when there's an injury that happens in football, that always causes some type of reaction to another position. So if a lead running back gets injured, the easiest thing to think is, oh, well, get his backup, right? Sure. But when a receiver gets injured, those targets, if that player's getting 8 to 10 or 12 targets per game, those targets now need to get distributed to other players, whether it's tight ends, whether it's running backs, or whether it's the third receiver on the team. So, guys, please DM us any questions you have. We will answer all of them on this show or General Managers, our fantasy show on YouTube. So please DM us. Eddie Rod says, Torrey Horton, fire musts. Eddie, why do you say that? Please let us know. Again, guys, who else was injured? We had Trey Benson come in for James Conner, who got injured. CeeDee Lamb got injured. Najee got injured. So this isn't a guy you're going to be able to pick up, Omarion Hampton. But again, who is the third running? These are things you got to kind of walk through, right? Who is the third running back on the Chargers? Because now everybody jumps to conclusions. Okay, Omarion Hampton's going to get every single carry now. He's getting all the points, which I would have to lean towards agreeing with. But if there's a third running back on the Chargers who is named, this is the Chiefs, who is named XYZ, we have to figure out, is that player also going to get a couple rush attempts? Brashard Smith is the third running back on the Chargers. So maybe if you have Hampton, you might want to roster Brashard Smith as a backup just in case. We saw Tyrone Tracy go down. Cam Scadaboo is going to be a monster over the next 4 weeks. Tracy's going to be out at minimum 2 to 4 weeks. I just got a notification that Scary Terry has a quad injury, so he's questionable to play. If that's the case, Debo's looking really good. Zach Ertz is looking really good, right? Any other receivers on the Commanders you think we should be looking at?
No, because if Jane Daniels is not playing, I'm not playing a receiver on the Commanders. I'm not letting Marcus Mariota be my QB1.
And then we got, let's zoom in on the bottom there. Logic says he might want to make a name for himself. Hassan Haskins, third running back. Tyquan Thornton. Guys, there's a ton of waiver wire musts, all right? We hope you have enjoyed this show today, guys. We will be back live tomorrow. You are watching Dappz Live. I am Dappz. That is Ethan. We will see you soon.